Hello, everyone. Okay, now, ladies, well, everyone, but ladies, okay. I'd like to invite you to a workshop that I have coming up on Saturday, the 13th of August at 10 a.m. This workshop is called Unleashing Your Potential, and it's still 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. But before I do, I just wanted to mention a quote and read a story to you. So there's a quote that I came across, and it says, "When I discover who I am, I'll be free." And it's by a gentleman called Ralph Ellison. Now, this workshop is for everyone, but I'm focusing in on the ladies. Why am I focusing in on the ladies? Okay, the story is coming. I think it's because over the last, I'd say, year, I've had lots of opportunities. You know, I work in HR, and I also do from coaching to executive recruitment and up. And I'm amazed at the number of times I literally have to persuade a lady to apply for a role. Not because they're not competent, they are actually overqualified in some cases. But what the challenge is really thinking and seeing what they're bringing to the table. Now, that may not be your story, but I bring it up because the workshop, it's really focused on helping people, whether you're young, middle-aged, old, just really be more self-aware. And when I say self-aware, it's really about allowing yourself to embrace your strengths. You know, sometimes we're doing things, but we're not actually maximizing the impact of what we're doing. So, for instance, sometimes you have someone who's so articulate, they're so eloquent, and you're speaking to them and they're like, oh, I talk too much. Or you have someone who just loves to be, you know, to really think things through, and they're like, oh, I think too much. But just imagine, I don't know how old you are, I'm like 51. Just imagine how much more impact your life will make, or even fulfillment and joy you get in life, if you really knew what your strengths were and you were intentional about embracing that strength and using it in a way that actually makes a huge difference in the life of others. Think about how that will benefit your relationship. I was also reading another Harvard business study, actually, and it was around women and confidence. And the article was talking about how women are not very good at, you know, promoting themselves. So they'll do a test. Men too would do the same test. And you ask the women how they did, and they'll be like, oh, I don't think I did so well. And the scores will come out, and they would have done so well. But the men who said, oh, I'm sure I did well. I mean, I'm not, you know, anti-men or anything. I'm just talking about the fact that as women, sometimes we're not showing up with our strengths, with our gifts. It's almost like we're trying to downplay the gifts that God has put in us and our strengths. So now, let me come back to the story. This might be a long video, but anyway, the story is called Song of the Bird, by a guy called Anthony de Mello. And it says, a man found an eagle's egg and put it in the nest of a barnyard hen. The eagle hatched with a brood of chicks and grew up with them. All his life, the eagle did what the barnyard chicks did, thinking that he was a barnyard chick. He scratched the earth for worms and insects. He cackled, and he will thrash his wings and fly a few feet into the air. Years passed, and the eagle grew very old. One day, he saw a magnificent bird above him in the cloudless sky. It glided in graceful majesty among the powerful wind currents, with scarcely a bit of its strong golden wings. The eagle that was raised with the chicks looked up in awe. Who's that? He asked. That's the eagle, the king of the birds, said his neighbor. He belongs to the sky. This is his chick. Sister, brother saying to him, we belong to the earth. We're chickens. So the eagle lived and died a chicken, for that's what he thought he was. That story has had a huge impact on me since I read it many years ago. If you don't really know what your strengths are, you're going to live a life that is less than what God has for you. You're going to live a life that is not maximizing your potential. And as I read, that first quote was, when I discover who I am, I'll be free. So I'm looking forward to having other people in the room where we come in on Saturday and we have different tools that would help us identify what our strengths are. So whether you're young, whether you're old, middle-aged, whether you're a man or woman, this workshop could really be helpful. Sometimes you're thinking, how do I pivot into my next level? How do I communicate better with people around me? How can I maximize my impact? If those are some of the questions you're thinking about, how can I communicate better with people? This is the workshop for you. And I'd like to invite you to come along to the workshop. You can go to lovetalks.tv, and under the Love Talks Academy, you can go into the Unleash Your Potential workshop. It's for half a day. It's lots of fun as well, because of course we're going to have a lot of laugh whilst learning, and you're going to go away being a lot clearer on what your strengths are, perhaps some growth areas that you might have, how to really, really harness, your potential and maximize those strengths and gifts that God has given you. So join me on Saturday for, an interactive session. Enjoy the rest of your week as well. And you can share with your friends as well. Bye.